Hi, welcome back to How to College. I'm Katie. And today we're going to talk about a really exciting topic, writing. So, since I'm not an expert in this, I've brought in our director of the Writing Center, David Wendt, to kind of share his expertise about getting ready for college English. What are some things that you need to know in that whole process? So, Dave, take it away.
Okay. Some of the services that we offer in the Writing Center, number one is proofreading, because many of you will come to me with the various papers throughout the departments that we will be working. But what I'm going to talk more specifically about are the English classes, the ones that are required. So if you are in English 100, I will be your instructor. And what we do in 100 is simply we work on the very basics to get you ready for English 109, which is Freshman Comp 1. Here it's called College Composition. And then also the second course is College Research, or Freshman Comp 2, English 110. What I want to talk to you about essentially, what some to many students have issues with, is the citation. And what that is, if you have not written a research paper at your high school, whenever you use someone else's work, whether it's statistics or quotes or something like that, you need to cite where you got the information and to give the author credit, because it's their work, and if you don't give credit for it, it's stealing, basically, is what it is. And for those of you who have never had a professor or teacher talk to you a lot about it, in higher ed is very serious. And so there are a couple things I want to go over just to prepare you if you really don't have a very solid background in writing or English, whatever you want to call it. In 109, you are going to use the MLA format, which is called the Modern Language Association format. In 110, and most of the classes on campus, you're going to use what's APA, which is the American Psychological Association citation method. Now, there are a couple of other methods that are used depending on the department in campus. Certain departments use what's called Chicago style, and then there's also another style that they use very specifically in criminal justice. And all of these, basically, they're similar in many ways, but what the fundamental issue is that you are giving credit for someone else's work that you are including in your paper. Professors they're expecting you to use work in a formal research paper. You don't have to write the whole thing from your perspective, or when you do research, you are going to include other people's work. But the key is you give them credit. And that's where all of this comes in, because I have known people who have lost their jobs because they plagiarized. There were a professor where I went and got my undergrad degree. There was a person who got her PhD at the institution I did. She published an article and it was plagiarized, and she actually lost her job. And at certain universities, you sign an honor code, and if you plagiarize, then you could be removed from the university. And actually, hopefully your professors will talk about it at Wesleyan, that if you do plagiarize, there could be some pretty serious consequences. So I'm kind of giving you a lot of information in a short amount of time, but I do want you to understand, if someone has not really talked to you seriously about plagiarism, it is taken very, very seriously in higher ed. A couple of things to also think about. Number one, we have in 109 and 110 and in other upper level classes, we have what is called turnitin.com, and you will submit your paper into this system and you will be given a code. You will have your own account, and with all of your papers, you will submit it to turnitin.com, and it is going to give you a percentage of your paper that is someone else's work. And as long as you have documented the work, then that number might be a little higher than you would hope. But the professors will talk to you what's acceptable in their class as far as the percentage of turnitin.com.
Which is really good because I think it helps you see, it'll highlight things,
Yes.
it'll show you so you can see, okay, this is where I need to add some things or do some things, and it allows your professors to be able to start that conversation with you.
Yes, it's an excellent. But just remember, the thing that you need to really know is when you're using someone else's information, simply give them credit. That is the bottom line. If somebody uses your work, you would want to get credit for that. So just give the author, whoever you're using, that same respect. It is just very fundamentally. All of your English teachers will cover this with you, and particularly 110 is very research-based. 109 prepares you for that, so they will have a couple of research opportunities. And then 100, we really don't do a whole lot with research until the very last paper where we begin to touch on it. So it's simply a building block process so that when you are in your upper level classes, because most classes on campus, you will have to do some sort of paper project where you are going to use research. So we expect you to use research, we expect you to use other people's work. It's just fundamentally give them credit, and then you are going to have a great experience here with writing. It's really not that bad. But come up and see me. My office is in the Student Success Center. So just come up and I will help you with proofreading, or I can hopefully answer any questions you have.
But I think the best thing is that it sounds scary, and it can be because you want to make sure you're doing it correctly, but there's always people to help you along the way, and you'll learn about it in different classes. So
That's true.
That's great. Thanks, David.
Okay.
Okay, so stay tuned for more of How to College.